Well, happy Monday, everybody. I just got off work. It's like 3:30. And so the past couple days, I have been going through some stuff. Obviously, based on what we're learning, I am still in the wilderness. But I think I'm coming out of that, obviously, a little bit more and more. And I'm learning a lot. Not only but I'm learning a lot about me. I am finding, I think that if some of you have been watching my videos or some of my posts, and I'm just like, I don't know why I'm this way. I don't know why, but I'm learning. And I am learning that one of my giftings is discernment. And what being having discernment means, and they're also called empaths, and I am an empath. And but I'm learning the balance of that. It's really different when you step out spiritually and you just see people differently. And this is why you need peeps, because peeps see things you don't. And so you need to have people who will protect you. You need to have people who can also discern. You have to have people who will go with you. You know what I mean? Like on your journey and things like that. I tend to come across weak and naive. And that happens to me a lot. And I have been. I'm not saying I'm not. Whew, have I been? I've been very naive. I've been very, whatever the case may be. But until I start to balance this and until I start to figure out how to use this gifting and protect myself, that is the process in which I'm going through now. And learning quicker and seeing things faster and seeing the red flags and then going, okay, how do I hold that boundary? What do I need to do? How do I need to do it? And that's all part of this process. It's part of the process of healing yourself. It's part of the process of helping others heal. It's part of and where is enough, or where do you not get drained, and where do you know what I mean? Which is why rest is important. It's important when you're doing God's work and you're out there and you're doing your ministry and you're doing your things, but then you have to balance. Okay, I need to stop. I need to spend some family time. I need to stop. I need to rest for a while. I need to have time by myself. It's all a balance that we all have to do. And sometimes in those rest moments, you're just sleeping and you're just chilling and you're watching a movie and you're staying in your jammies. Other times you're healing and you're crying and you're on your face to God and you're just like, God help me. God get me through this, or whatever the case may be. And you're praying for others and you're manifesting it and you're speaking it and you are, declaring things for other people, and you're going, and that's all spiritual, and that's all what we're supposed to be doing and how we're supposed to be doing this. But when is too much, or when is enough, and when do you plant the seed and move on? And when do you, and there's just all these things to it. And I am learning to hear God better. I'm learning to trust God more. I'm learning to be me more, I guess is the word I want to say. I don't know how else to word that, y'all. But this is it's taken me a long time to get here, you guys. I guess I kind of knew I always had it, but I always thought I was weird, or I always thought it was wrong, or I always thought it was not okay, or I don't really know what to say about it, It's interesting. It's scary, but it's fun. It's all kinds of stuff, And I'm excited to see what God does with this. I'm excited to see where this goes for all of us, because there's a lot of you on my Facebook who are just, we're all the same. We're empaths. We're creative. We're this. We're that. It's a lot, y'all. It's a lot. But I have people in here who dream. I have people in here who have visions and words of knowledge and discernment. And there's a plethora of you all on here that you don't know yet. I think this is so exciting that you all don't know who each other is or what your giftings are. And I find that very intriguing, believe it or not. Yeah, I really do hope the harvest comes. I really am like praying that in. I'm like, God, let the harvest come. Because could you imagine what it would be like to have everybody's giftings in one place? What God could do. Holy cow, the healing we could do for people. The baptisms, the counsel, the it's phenomenal what we could be doing and how we could be helping people. You guys, you know? And I'm excited to see where this is going to go. And I'm so excited to see what God's going to do with this. But I just wanted to chime in. I posted about empaths and biblically how they align and where this all goes. And, you know, and I've said it before. Everybody looks at God differently, but he's still God, you know? And he comes with 20 bazillion names, and everybody calls him something different. And there's the universe, and there's this, and there's that. And, you know, they call him universe, they call him Yahweh, they call him God, they call, you know, he's got many different names. But I hope that I'm trying to show you how different beliefs see him. But when you look at it, you see it biblically. And that's our belief, right? I mean, so it's funny how everybody words it differently. And if you look at the Bibles throughout time and how it's worded differently. And I'm learning a lot about the way the Bible was written and how man changed some wordings and how man has I don't really want to use the word manipulated because I don't think that that's the right word. But I have learned some things, you know. I'm learning. I have a friend who knows Torah, and so she is teaching me or showing me, you know, like I'm learning her. Like in the Bible we think this, but in the Torah it's this and that kind of thing. And I go, wow, that's pretty interesting. And then I go, well, why did it change? And learning, if you learn about King James and you learn the history of King James, he is, and that Bible, King James Version, is probably the most accurate, but there are also some things that he wanted to do personally and so there are some wordings in King James that were switched for his purposes, I guess is the word I want to look for. But I want you to research that yourself. I want you to make your own conclusion and make your own opinions. I'm just telling you what I'm finding out myself and what I'm learning. And I'm not sure how deep into the search I'm going to go, but and that's something for somebody else to research. And then, hey, come back to me. Let me know what you find out. Or am I wrong? Or are we wrong? Or, you know, I don't know. But I am listening to other people and I'm listening to what they're all saying. And I'm going, okay, but let me figure that out. You know what I mean? And so it's been kind of interesting. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to be coming out of the wilderness pretty soon, you guys. I went through these past couple days of a lot of healing for myself. And I had to have some conversations. And there were conversations I thought I was going to have. And turned out I was so wrong on that. I didn't have to have a conversation at all. And I go, oh, good job, devil. You really tried on that one. You know what I mean? But it all came to light. And I went, that's not even what was happening. You know? And I'm I have other relationships that are growing, and I'm able to, you know, speak to some people and have some real conversations with some that I think that were uncomfortable to have conversations with me. But when we can speak from the heart and we can get somewhere in these conversations, we're we're both healing, and we're all kind of working some stuff out, you know? And even perspectives, you know? You could be around somebody your whole life and their perspective is completely different. You know what I mean? And then you kind of go, you know, but they can respect your perspective and you can respect theirs, and you go, I understand why you see it that way, and they go, well, I understand why you see it that way too, you know, and you just kind of work some stuff out, and you work it out between each other, you know. And isn't that what we're supposed to do? Isn't that what relationships are supposed to be about, you know? And it's hard when you're with somebody and you can't get there with them. And I have found that in a lot of bad choices that I have made in relationships, because I see people differently. And so when I meet somebody, I meet their good, I guess is the word I want to say. I meet them in their good. But that doesn't mean that that's the actions that they're showing is good. And so then I sit and I go, I'm going to be patient. I'm going to work with them. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But there comes a point in time where that boundary gets crossed and you have to figure out, now what do you do next? You know? And I had some truth spoken to me today about having to have the last word. And I went, well, if y'all know me, that's pretty much how I roll, you know, but I am learning a new way to roll, I guess is the word. But that comes with growth, and that comes with learning, and that comes with time, you know? And I had to be able to allow God to show me and sit with him and go, what am I missing? What do I need to learn? And where did I go wrong? And where did I go right? Or where did I, you know what I mean? And so I go there and I do that. And then I have my little pity party for a second. And then someone goes, okay, we're done with this pity party. Let's go. You know what I mean? And I have to figure that all out as we go. And that comes along with learning spiritually discernment. And that comes along with learning about myself and where I am mentally, you know, and continuing on physically and all of that, you know, and it's a journey. It's scary, and it's exciting, and it's fun, and it's terrifying, and it's everything in between, you know. But you just kind of go, I get it, you know, and even if you don't get it, have faith that you do. Have faith that it's all going to come together. And I think we're seeing that. I think that I see it in your lives as you're posting and the things that you're doing and the things that you're saying. And I go, oh, okay, all right, you know, and I think that you're seeing it in my journey and what's happening and where we're going with it. And, but there's a shift, isn't there? There's a shift, and there's a new season coming, and there's a new, you know, spring is in the air, you know, and new growth. It's time for new growth, you guys. And we're all getting there. We're all going to do this together. And we're all going to figure this out. And I hope that you guys are with me on this. And I hope that we can all come to some kind of an agreement on some things. Because I think that some way, somehow has to happen, you guys. Because this world's turned upside down. And We have a generation that is beyond lost and is beyond broken. And their mind thought and their brainwash that they have, I turn around and I go, are they even human? Like, for real, y'all. I go, are they even human anymore? And it's sad. It's so sad. And it makes believers really hard. It makes it really hard to go out into the world, doesn't it? But we have to be strong, and we have to put on that armor, and we're going to have to figure out how to do this. But again, that's where your peeps come in. You know, evangelists, they go out and they go and they preach and they heal and they help people, but they don't do it alone. You guys, they have their peeps. They go out, they do it together, and they do it for safety reasons, and you know, and that's where I'm like, y'all, some of my peeps are just like, I got some peeps that will ride or die with me, y'all. And I'm just like, dang, they'll say it for me, you know? And I'm just like, dang, you know? And those are my peeps, you know? And then I go out and I want to live in, I you know, and this is a different perspective, in my la la land. I want to just be happy and spread joy and talk to everybody and be that person. And I want people with me who are there with me doing it, but also watching and protecting and making sure that I'm not naive and making sure that I am okay, and you know, and that kind of thing. And I think that's maybe why I'm still in the wilderness, because I'm waiting on peeps. That's the only thing that I can think of. And but again, it's God's timing. I'm not who I was last week. Now am I? I'm not. I'm evolving. I'm changing. I'm growing. You know, we all are, in some way, shape, or form. I hope that God is speaking to you all. I hope that you are, even if it's 2 minutes in the car, you're learning to. Excuse me. You're learning to be still. Turn the radio off, or put on worship music, or, you know, sometimes you have to be all in your feels and cry in the car, or whatever the case may be. But I do hope that you guys are hearing God in some way. And I know that we all hear God differently. I know that. And, but don't get discouraged. Don't be upset if you're not hearing him. And what I have learned is when I don't hear from God, it's because he's already told me something. And again, we have to remember, God doesn't change. His yes is yes, his no is no. And we can't try to manipulate God by saying, but I prayed this and you haven't done it. Or why is it not happening this way? He's already told you. But you didn't like the answer he gave you. And so you keep procrastinating, or you keep waiting, or you keep hoping that something else is going to change. But he's already told you. And that's part of obeying. That's part of going, I hear you. I don't like it. I don't want to. But I hear you. And as loving as he is, as grateful as he is, and as merciful as of a God that he is also going to discipline us. And he's also going to teach us some lessons. And he's going to humble us to do that. But this is where your growth comes in, that your humbling isn't so severe anymore. Because you are obeying, and you're never going to be perfect with it. And you're going to think you heard something from him and it wasn't right. Or maybe it was right, but the wrong timing. Or, you know, there's different avenues to this, and that's where you have to sit still and go, why did it happen this way? Or why haven't you answered? Or what are you trying to show me? Or what is the lesson in this? Or what, you know what I mean? And if other people are hearing God and other people are discerning and other people can come to you with the right heart and you're willing to receive. But see, that's the other part of timing. Not everybody is ready to receive when you're ready to tell them. And so this is where patience comes in. And this is where you have to step back and you have to go give them a minute. And God's got to work something in them. And your heart, God, your Holy Spirit, God will tell you, okay, they're ready to receive. And he'll line up that conversation. And then you speak from the heart, you speak from the Holy Spirit, and you're spiritually talking to somebody, and it's going and it's flowing, and it was way better than you thought it was going to be, and they understood and they received it. But they have to know you, and you have to know them, and you have to have built that relationship with them, and you can't come at them, and you can't keep telling them everything that they do wrong all the time, because that's when they're just going to tune you out. I mean, if you keep telling your kids everything that they do wrong all the time, then isn't that what's going to stick in their head, is everything they do wrong, instead of the praises or the good things that they do and the good jobs? Shouldn't the good outweigh the bad? So how do you do that? You have to be loving in how you speak to people, you guys. And it's really hard to do. It's really hard to say, I'm right and you're wrong. Because that's your stubbornness, and that's your ego, and that's your pride that's getting in the way of somebody lovingly trying to tell you something. I was lovingly told something today. And I lovingly told them something today. And then we both go, why don't we listen to each other more? You know? And you go, I don't know. But you have to know, you have to be around the right people that you're able to come to them at the same time, because that's a trust. And so to those of you that are either leaders or under somebody else's leadership, and from somebody on both sides of this now, please do everything that you can to listen and receive with love. Do not try to manipulate it. Do not try to instill fear. Do not take your authority for granted and be like, you've got to do this or else. And please stop telling people that God's going to punish you. Because that is a lie from the devil. We serve a loving God. And he will discipline you. But he will not punish you. You're punishing yourself. You're hurting yourself. You're believing the lies. That is your choice. That is on you. But if somebody comes at you wrong, or leadership comes at you wrong, you have to be able to have that kind of relationship with your leadership, with your boss, or with your peeps, or with your pastors, or your whatever the case may be, where you can say, I didn't like the way that you said that because this is what I thought, or this is what I because maybe that's something that they need to learn. But when you come to them and they continue to make it about you, and you know it's not you, you really need to go to God with that and discern some things and reflect on some things and look at yourself in some things. If you're not growing you're not growing and it's healthy growth, and it's not serving your purpose, or it's not helping you be a better person, and you're finding yourself becoming somebody you don't want to be, or you're becoming somebody that you know you're not, then I really highly suggest you sit with God for however long you need to sit with him and figure out some things. Again, I've been on both sides of this, you guys. And I made a lot of mistakes. And I screwed up a lot of things. But I also know when I did hear God. And I also know when I should have listened to him and I didn't. And when I should have let go and I didn't. But that's the empath in me. That's the heart in me that I have a hard time giving up on people. As I'm saying all this, I'm learning a lot, just so you know. I know I keep stopping, and I'm stopping because I go, ooh, that was good. I totally get what you're saying. Like, I am literally talking to God as I'm talking to you. I don't know how to explain that to you guys, but I'm learning a lot. And really pray that some people get this, because the devil's really good at deceiving really good people who have good intentions and have good hearts. And this is where we need to pray for them, right? And this is where we have to intercede for them. And this is where we have to really try and help them. And we have to give it to God from here and see where this all goes. That's a lot of trust. Isn't it? It's a lot of trust. If we can't even trust the people we can see, do you know how hard it is to trust somebody you can't see, or something you can't see? Ooh. You better know yourself real well to be able to trust what you can't see. You better trust God more than you trust yourself if you're going to trust him. Because we will fail ourselves every time. But God never fails. He never fails. I'm living proof of that. You're living proof of that. I don't care what level you're on. I don't care where you are in your journey. I know for a fact that you all know who God is. And I know for a fact that every single one of you are stretching your faith muscles right now beyond your own strength. I guarantee it. Keep going. Just keep going, you guys. It's going to suck. It's going to hurt. It's going to be fabulous. It's going to be magnificent. It's going to be beyond anything that you could ever hope or imagine. But there may be a time when God puts you in the wilderness. And you better accept that. Because there are times now that I crave the wilderness, you guys. There are times where I go, I need to be alone. And I crave the wilderness with him. I came to Hawkins to heal. Heal myself. But I had no idea that me healing me was helping others heal. I didn't know that that's what was going to happen when I came to Hawkins, y'all. I don't know what's next. I don't know if I remain in Hawkins. I don't know if I go somewhere else. I don't know what's next. But I don't need to know what's next. I just have to be present. And I work, and I'm hanging with friends, and I'm reconnecting with some, and I'm meeting new ones, and I'm excited for the future, and I'm excited for what happens next, whatever that looks like. So just keep going, you guys. Just keep on swimming. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. I posted that the other day because my friend said, you're like Dory, because I'm da-da-da-da. But at the same time, I just keep swimming, right? Dory can talk to whales, y'all. I'm going to talk to some whales. All right. Have a good day, guys.